Am I Okay? 2022. I love this film so much. It, I first saw it last year, just over a year ago, and not long after, I got asked on Threads. A lot of people, it was just a general question on Threads. Does anyone know a film where uh, a woman discovers her sexuality relatively late on, I.e., in her 30s rather than, you know, in her teenage years, that sort of thing. It was that sort of question, and I had just seen this within a few weeks, so I recommended it. I said, "This is perhaps a film that, she was looking for, this particular person." And, I remember her getting back to me and saying that she did watch it and really liked it. So, I was really pleased by that because I just by chance come across it. So, um, it is that's more or less exactly what the synopsis is in the briefest summary. It stars Dakota Johnson. I really like her. She's been in quite a few films that I think are good, and, um, I I saw yeah, so, she stars as a character called Lucy, who is now 32. The opening scene is she's meeting a friend in a diner, and she Um, she gets asked by her friend knows what she's like. Her friend's called Jane, and she asks, um, are you gonna go for veggie burger?" She more or less knows that she's gonna go for a veggie burger and particular type of coffee with cream or something, and, she's always so predictable. She doesn't make wild decisions or even any decisions at all. She's very comfortable in her comfort zone. And Jane, because she can predict this about Lucy, is trying to push her out of the situation. Anyway, then suddenly Danny, who is Jane's boyfriend, turns up, and Jane's played by um, Sunita Mizuno, and Danny, her boyfriend, is played by Jermaine Fowler. Um, and they both say because, Lucy's got a boyfriend, Ben, and she's meeting him later, and as friends are always curious about relationships, they ask, "Is she going to, like, do it with him tonight?" And she's been always very lukewarm about it seems, and then we get cut to that scene in the evening. He's sits on the bed next to her, tries to move a bit closer, and when when yeah, she sort of falls off the bed when he tries to make the slightest advance. So he says he's going to go, and can see why. And I understand her point of view. She doesn't particularly like him, but I guess it's unfair that, he isn't really her boyfriend if she's not attracted to him. So that's simple enough. They kind of, then they aren't gonna go, um, out for much longer, I think. So, um, now the thing is, Danny is, he's, very supportive, I think, of Jane to start with, and then when there's this fallout, he's really good, I think, at helping, try and repair the damage between them, trying to bridge the gap, which I think is really sweet. Um, and um, yeah, I sort of um, there's this. Oh yeah, that Jane gets. She's from London originally, and her boss asks if she can move back to London to start a new sub team of the company there because that's where they want to expand. And she's from there, and she's got another co-worker who's a sort of mutual friend, but not really a friend with Lucy. And Kat is her name, and she's going to go to London as well. So that's the plan. Jane tells Lucy, and Lucy feigns joy for um, Jane going back to London, but she's actually really upset because she won't see her best friend. It was going to be a huge change in her life. And when friends are the main thing in your life, or a significant part of your life, it becomes really difficult if something major changes. I know from those sort of situations in my life because I haven't had any partners, so not for many years. Um, but Lucy's trying to put on a brave face, and then gradually it becomes the narrative goes into the territory where there's some conversation about kissing girls, and um, Jane admits it, and then it becomes sort of the focus goes on to Lucy, and that's where it seems like it's something for Lucy to explore. It's really well done. I'm not explaining this very well, but I really like the way the story slowly gets into the territory that the film is all about. Um, Lucy doesn't really know she's gay, but she suspects it. And she works in this spa, and there's Brittany, a brand new masseur or masseuse. Actually, it's masseuse. Let's say masseuse is the default term. It certainly is for women, but I think for everyone it should be masseuse. Um, so um, she's the masseuse, and um, the Brit, that's what they call her. She's actually straight, or it comes across that she's finished with a male partner, but she seems possibly bi-curious or possibly interested in moving into lesbianism. She seems very kind of quite keen on. She's very friendly with Lucy, and so there's this possibility, and that is one of the explorations that comes up next in the film. And there's some really, I really like their chemistry. I just thought, oh wow, this is really nice. I think they're both lovely characters, and I like the actors. I just think, great, this is just ideal. Um, but this sort of I don't know the way sh Brittany is flirty. She's got this. She's sort of like her dialogue. She's got this. Oh yeah, she invites her to a try-on party. She invites her to two events, and they do make out. But then there's. I don't know if I should explain what happens next, but there's like, oh, so what's happening now? Hmm, I don't know. There's complications. There's quite a lot of complications. There's complications with Jane. There's complications with Danny, and I won't say any of what they are, but everything gets thrown into the mix. You can't really tell how it's gonna finish. Um, so, the one thing is that I felt this film, I think from the end credits, I got the idea that the title was gonna be Lucy and Jane, and I think that also is a brilliant title because that's what it is. It's friendship. It's friendship that actually fractures at one point, but they are really, I mean, it's heartbreaking when they fall out and where Danny tries to get them to be friends again, when he's saying, "Call her," and also, "Who's her?" Oh, Lucy, of course. It's because there's all this sort of tension and stuff like that. But they are really good friends, so you know that, what's happening is incredibly painful. And from Jane's point of view, she points out because Lucy's sort of stifling her inner self. I mean, she's got 32, she hasn't explored this side of herself. She feels she should have done this already, and because she's stifling it, Jane says, "You know that if you can't, bury it, it will explode," and that's exactly such an important line. Gosh, it really gets me because I can imagine people who suppressed their LGBTQIA plusness into their 30s. I mean, I dealt with it in my early 20s. I certainly dealt with the trans aspects. I found out about things like being ace much later in life. And in a way, I wish I'd found out about it earlier. But to see this, and sure, finding out and coming out in your 30s is better late than never. And if it's not that late, it's better than 40 something, and 40 is better than 50 something, and so on. It's never too late. Whatever age, it's not too late. Um, and I remember people who've come out in their 70s, and it's heartbreaking that they've missed 50 plus years of self-actualization, but they've got there in the end. And um, the only tragedy is people who never um, find out about their true selves and come out about their true selves. That's where it's really painful. The thought that some people will stifle forevermore because we live in this heteronormative and oppressive society, and it does go against uh, the grain. It really hurts people. I mean, it does explode. So it's better out. It's better to come out. And at the moment, I saw this YouTube sort of podcast by an LGBTQIA plus uh, person vlogger who said who was discussing people I'd not heard of before who have gone back into the closet, and this gay chap, he was talking with a gay woman, and they were analysing the whole thing. I might put a link to it. So now over an hour long, but I watched the whole thing. And I found that heartbreaking as well. Just people who it's like people who detransition. The detransitioning is usually, I mean, studies have found that it's usually because of the hostile pressure against the person coming out and living their true selves as trans. And the same applies in the rest of the LGBTQIA plus community. There is pressures to try and get people to conform with cis straight society, all this conversion stuff, all this the religious stuff, that the moral panic and the pressure is. appalling. So just getting back to this story, I found it so tender and caring. The friendship involved deep, honest conversations, and that comes across in the script in under an hour and a half. I thought it was really well done, um, and it's really well acted. And the friends, um, this is genuine friends actually trying to help each other. They, the tension does cause problems, obviously. The facial expressions, there's this other friend, mutual, Cat, and she's perhaps a bit domineering, a bit forceful in some ways. Certainly, that's what Lucy finds, um, and that leads to quite a lot of tension. Um, and that helps create the divide. And yet, I don't think she's a bad person, but oh, there's the text messaging, the messages that goes between them, and the editing. You write something, then pause and delete it, remove it, rephrase it, and the ellipses when you see that someone's replying to your message, but then it vanishes for good. All those sort of things, they're really poignant, and they're very much a sign of how things are today. Um, there's a line about, again, it's Lucy saying, you don't make out with your co-workers. I mean, this is the sort of situation with Brit. Um, don't have relations with co-workers. Read the news. I mean, sure. I mean, actually, Dakota Johnson, when I was like looking up about her, she's involved in the Times Up campaign against harassment, and good for her. And whilst I don't think I think she's straight. She's not part of the LGBTQIA plus community, from what I could see, just checking a Wikipedia entry. Might be wrong. And that's probably one of the very limited criticisms I have of this film. Um, the there's a lot of things come out. And there's a point about female only salons because of the way guys behave, and you can understand why that happens. But of course, seeing that now with the perspective of the way UK culture is going in a very anti-trans way, it feels like that sort of thing could end up causing problems for trans inclusion. I mean, it shouldn't, but that's the way things are going. And so, a lot of films I find there's a lot of escapism from the way things are in society, but then things remind me of what's actually happening. So it takes lines like that and the trans perspective. Um, so it, you know, what type of female only, women only space is this going to be? Is it going to be trans inclusive or trans exclusive? And that's the kind of thing that um, immediately pings to mind when these things turn up in scripts. As much as I think, yeah, it makes sense to have. It's important having women only spaces, but how are they going to deal with this ruling that in the UK, because it's messing things up really badly. Um, so yeah, that's a crucial question. It's you know, are these people are the is it a germ thing, as in grim, exclusionary, um, reactionary, misogynistic. The Kate Nash line. Um, I talk about that in the vlog, I think. So, oh yeah, another point just on trans matters. There's Kim Petra singing "Heart to Break" and in this film. And another bit of the soundtrack I really liked was the song during the closing credits, which is Los Angeles by St. Vincent. Absolutely love that. I don't think I'd noticed it. I've seen this film a second time, but I don't think I'd noticed it when I first watched it. Um, so what am I going to score this? I think I'll go for 9.25 out of 10. Absolutely loved it. I think it's a brilliant film. Love to know what you think. Um, that Thanks for watching. Please like if you like this review. Thanks for subscribing. Hit the notification button. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.